Hey there, my name is Chris. Just went through an evacuation at Hay River, Northwest Territories, the flooding of the community. And I just want to make this video to make people aware that they do need to be prepared to bug out in the event of an emergency and heed the warnings that may be coming their way from the government or other people that are local to the area. I just kind of give you a little rundown of my experience that might help others that may be caught off guard and put into a emergency or survival situation um, that they were not expecting to ever have to deal with. So, first of all, things spiral out of control quickly. A lot of people don't expect things to happen. You can feel the tension rising. You can see the changes in the environments. And you really got to pay attention to those cues. Luckily, I was a few hours ahead, and I watched the river rise, and I could kind of see the writing on the wall. So I had all my stuff and family ready to go. You want to pack light. You want to take at least 3 days of clothes, fresh water, um, snacks. Make sure stuff for your pets are ready to go. If you want to get any valuables out of the house, they need to be accessible. The time to evacuate and protect your belongings is not when the sirens go off. The emergency checklist that the government provides, 72-hour checklists, they're decent. So you'd be in decent shape if you check all those off and you have some money set aside, for a rainy day, so to speak, pay for hotel rooms and such. And you want to pay attention to your environment and be ahead of the crowd. So you can actually get a hotel room if you need it. You can get fuel, which you should have your car a 3/4 tank at all times. A lot of people were caught because there are long distances to travel here. You really do need to keep your fuel topped up in your car. Again, the time to be stocking up and refueling is not when the emergency is happening. You need to be able to calmly gather your family and your important belongings and necessary items to live for a few days, in our case about a week or 10 days, and get in your vehicle and then calmly make your way out of town before the panic hits. When the sirens go off, people panic and they act irrationally. So you want to be ahead of that curve. You want to be a good at least 30 minutes to an hour ahead. If you can feel the tension rising in the community and you can see a bunch of people staring at danger, it's weird that they kind of do it nonchalantly. They don't really respect the situation at hand as it should be. Like, everybody in the community could see the river rising, and it was right there on the banks ready to break, and still people lived in denial and did not think that ice was going to break the bank and come into town, and it did. It caught a lot of people off guard. You want to be ahead of that. Luckily, our community here is good. A lot of people pull together, a lot of resources available, but I know a lot of places in the world there wouldn't be any. So having a good plan in place, we had the primary alternate contingency emergency PACE plan is really necessary. You might not think you need 4 different places to retreat to or 4 different plans, but in our case, it was real. We evacuated from our house uptown to a hotel, and then from the hotel we evacuated further uptown to higher ground to a friend's camper, and then the third time we evacuated 6 hours away to the nearest community in Yellowknife, And luckily we had the fuel and everything ready to go, and we got ahead of the panic. And we got there, and as soon as the sirens went off, we were in the car and calling for a hotel right away while other people were scrambling to get ready. And then once we got to Yellowknife, it's expensive. It costs thousands of dollars to stay for weeks at a time in a hotel, especially in a place in the north where prices are high. Um, we made our way and used community resources to stay at a campground and use a friend's trailer. So that's, evacuated to the hotel, evacuated uptown, then evacuated to a different hotel, then made our way to a campground. That's four. That's four different locations: primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So, I mean, there's a lot of good people out there that are trying to inform people to plan and put these measures in place. And I just wanted to, kind of let people know that it's a good idea and to be prepared, because ultimately it's less of a burden on everybody in the community and to your own selves and your own family if you can just, follow the directions of people with experience in emergency response, 72-hour plans at the very minimum, and then a primary, alternate, contingency, emergency plan. Have your belongings and fresh water ready in the case that you may need to leave. Pay attention to your environment, because all the warning signs were there for the community, and those who respected them, I think, had a lot easier time than those who remained in denial. So I guess that's all I really wanted to say, just kind of get it out there, and hopefully some people can learn from, some hard lessons that we have experienced here recently in Hay River and Yellowknife, and go back to Hay River here shortly to pick up the pieces. All right, thanks, guys. Bye.